Hey, today I want to talk to you guys about how my email list made me $1 million, and it's not what you think. Hey, I'm Ken. I used to be a homicide detective. I was a cop for over 15 years, and I got sick of it. When I found out I was going to become a dad, I needed to make a change. In the last 15 years, I've started 4 different businesses in 4 different industries, and they've made a lot of money. This channel is dedicated to showing people exactly how to build an 8-figure coaching business. Every single part of it. I love teaching people how to write books, how to get your books traditionally published, how to turn those books into 7-figure coaching businesses, and you're going to find all that information right here. Welcome back, everybody. I am really excited about this today. We've been doing a bunch of calculations and looking at revenue and where it comes from. We went back to the beginning of the company in 2018 when I first really started digging in to digital marketing and building an email list. And I'm really excited about the fact that from everything we can tell, it looks like my email list has made me over $1 million. And I want to talk to you exactly about how that happened and how you can duplicate this, because really another name for this episode should be how an email list can make you $1 million. Because you hear all kinds of people that are doing some type of training around email lists and how to build email lists. But I don't hear a lot of people talking about this strategy. And I want to lay it out for you today and show you exactly how it works. I'm even going to pull up my ads managers and walk you through exactly how to do it. So the reality is this: if you're going to build any type of business online and you want to make 7 figures or 8 figures and really scale the business, you have to use some type of paid advertising. The ultimate strategy for any sustainable long-term business is a combination of organic marketing strategies and paid advertising strategies. So get in the habit of publishing content and sharing your message with the world. The secret is, as you're publishing content, come up with some type of offer that is going to get people onto an email list. They're called lead magnets. We've all heard about them before. Once you start building an email list, you can start to get to know people better. You can really give them a chance to know you better. You can indoctrinate them into your programs. You can nurture them, make them feel better about buying in the future, and you can get them to buy your products and services through your email list. But what most people don't know is that advertising platforms all allow you to use your email list to build audiences on their platforms. Every one of them does it. Now, I'm going to show you Facebook in a minute because it's the easiest one to explain. But essentially, once you have an email list that's growing, if you got 5,000 people or more on your list, you can actually take your email list, load it up into Facebook, and Facebook will identify every single person on the platform that's on your list. And you can send ads to the people that are on your email list, which is really, they're going to freaking love it. They're actually going to think there's something to it, because they're going to know they're on your email list, but they're going to start wondering, like, how in the heck is it that Ken is following me everywhere now? So you can start sending follow-up and nurturing emails, get them excited about being on your list and get to know you. Then you can retarget them on Facebook with a Facebook ad that makes the offer to them to come to your webinar or buy your product and service. And what's really freaking amazing, if you want to build your email list even faster, Facebook will let you build what Facebook calls a lookalike audience of everybody that's on your email list. And you can build that into the thousands, tens of thousands if you want. And it's unbelievable how it works. So what I'm going to do for you guys today is walk you through this exact strategy so I can show you how it works. So let me go ahead and snap my finger. Now you see my screen. And what I'm going to do is pull up my ClickFunnels account. You can see I've got 488,000 people on that list. But what I'm going to do specifically today is go into my funnels where so the main thing I do in my business is I teach people how to write books, right? And I do webinars regularly where I invite people to sign up. They give me their email address to sign up, and then I teach them my book writing strategy. Well, what I'm doing right now is I'm opening up the email list of everybody who's ever signed up for that webinar. So they all know me. They're on my email list already. But watch how quick and easy you can do this. So I'm going to click on download the email list. Now this is all time. So this could take a couple minutes. All right, so now that's downloaded. I can hit download, and it's going to open it up down here in the bottom. So I'm just going to click on it. And there's all the emails of everybody who's ever signed up for that workshop. And if I scroll down to the bottom, you're going to see that there are a couple thousand people. Let me see what we got here. Let's go right to the bottom of it. $5,468. So what I want to do, let me just scroll up to the top of this list, and I'm going to clean it up a bit, because when you download it, it's going to have some extra columns that you don't really need. So I'm going to hit delete on these columns. I want the email address, the first and last name, and the phone number. So I'm going to delete on those columns. I don't need them. There's the last name, the first name. And so I'm going to delete all these columns right up to the phone number. I'm going to hit delete again. And then I'm going to delete all the columns afterwards. So I've got a nice clean list of 5,000 people that they all know me. They're all on my list. They've all either attended one of my workshops, or they're at least on my list now where they're learning about me. So I'm going to save this as, I'm going to say list example. And watch how fast this happens, friends. So there's the list. It's on our desktop. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to Facebook. And in Facebook, we're going to go to, this is the business manager for Facebook. We're going to go to this button right here that says audiences. And we're going to build a new audience. And here we are. I'm going to hit create new audience, the big blue button. It's going to ask me, what do I want to create? And the first thing I want to do is create a custom audience. So then you get a chance to say what kind of audience, and I have a customer list. So I'm going to click that button and hit next. And then it gives me some details, tells me how the spreadsheet should be set up and what kind of file works. But I've already done all that. I've done that before. But it makes it really simple to do. It gives you all the instructions. You just have to read it. And it's going to ask you, does your list have a customer value? And I'm going to say, no, this one doesn't. So I'm going to hit next. And now I'm going to upload it. So I click upload file. And then I'm going to go to the downloads, I think is where that is. Yep, right there, list example. And I'm going to give it a different name. So I'm going to not use that name. I'm going to say writing webinar opt-ins. So that means I know at least they opted in. So I'm going to call them that, and I'm going to hit next. And now Facebook is recognizing some of the columns. So it says we recognize the phone number column. We recognize the email address column, but there's two we don't recognize. What are they? And I'm just going to say, one is the last name and what is the first name? Here we go. And we hit import and create. And it's now importing all of those email addresses. What it just did there that quickly, 5,400 people. It loaded up their email addresses and it found them on Facebook, their profiles. So the next thing I can do now is I can create a lookalike audience from it. So I've got that audience already. Now I want to hit create a lookalike audience. And Facebook's going to ask me what kind of audience and where do they want. Now, I already know that most of these people are in the United States, so I'm going to say they're in the United States and they're in Canada. And then it's asking, okay, if I want one list, it'll be 3 million people on this list. But I want to create 3 lists, 3 separate lists. So the one's going to be 1%. So that means the most accurate lookalikes. Basically what they're doing, Facebook is now going out, looking at those 5,000 people and finding the 3 million people on Facebook in Canada and America that look most like those people. So that means they have the same professions, they have the same businesses, they both want to write a book. I mean, all of that stuff is taken into consideration, and it's unbelievable. So now I'm going to hit create audiences, and you'll see in my list, oh, it's telling me that I've got an option that's too small, which is probably Canada, so I'll get rid of that. I'm going to hit create audiences, and there's my audiences all set up, and they're populating. Now, the last thing I want to do is I want to be able to use these audiences Let me see, this says with other types of custom audiences. Okay, so I want to share these audiences in my other ad accounts where I'm currently running ads. So we're going to go down here. We're going to say we're running it in these ad accounts. And now, watch this. I run ads for my live webinars that I'm doing. And as you guys can see here, I have a webinar coming up that I'm doing right now. And I've got all kinds of ads that are running. And I want to take my ad that's running the best, which is right here. Actually, check this out. If you look at, so this says that I'm getting people for this ad set, for this specific ad, it's only costing me $6 to get them to register for the webinar, which means that it's really amazing. Now, why that is it has a lookalike audience already running. So if you go in here and I open that up, I can show you the audience I've chosen. If I scroll down, you can see it's a lookalike of my customer list. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to do my email list, but I'm going to copy. So I'm going to duplicate that campaign. I'm going to open it up as a copy, and I'm going to change the name. And this video is being recorded on the 25th of October, so I'm going to give that date so I can keep track of it. And I'm going to say 1 to 3% lookalike of webinar opt-ins. I'm going to say web opt-ins so I can keep it a little bit smaller. Web opt-ins. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I just come down here to the audience that's there and I delete that one. And I'm just going to click on here for the audiences, and there's the audience we just created. 1%, and there we go, and the third one. So there's about 6-7 million people on that list. Yep. And it's all set. And then I hit publish. Now, what has happened every time I've ever used an opt-in audience, so these are people that opted in my webinar, and a lookalike list of that email list, it always gets the cheapest conversions. That means it costs me literally about 50% less than any other audience to get people to sign up for the webinar, and the highest purchase rates when they subsequently get on to the workshop. It's unbelievable. And let me just hit refresh on that to make sure it's all up and running. Okay, great. And with that, let's go back to the big screen. Friends, I'm telling you, there are 100 different reasons that you should build an email list. And that is probably one of the most powerful. I've made over $1 million selling that program to lookalike audiences from my email list. And now you can do it too. If you guys want any more information about this, or you want to take a closer look at the entire system, how I built my following, how I took my followers and put them onto an email list, and then how I used that list, turned it into a lookalike audience, and actually made millions of dollars with that. If you want to see that, there's a masterclass that I've put together where I explain that, and I share my screen the whole time, just like you guys saw, and walk you through the whole system and prove to you that I've made millions of dollars doing this. All you have to do is go to kendunn.com/live content. We'll see you soon.